Hey girl, today I'm about to paint you a picture that might make you cry some happy tears because I'm going to show you what your life looks like when you stop settling for the crumbs of existence and you start feasting on the fullness of freedom. If you've been living small, thinking small, believing so small, and truly embracing that this eating disorder life is just how things are for you, then today's episode is going to expand your entire world. I'm talking about settling for more, not less, not the tiny, not the controlled, restricted life that you've been living, but more. More laughs, more presence, more energy, more purpose, more life, because you deserve it. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsey, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom, and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it so you can start living your best life as your best self. I hope that you don't settle, not for what's comfortable just because it feels uncertain of what's next for you in your life, not for what's easy. I want you to run, sister friend, from the mundane, from the mediocre, and from average, because you're not average. You deserve a life that excites you, a life that expands you, a life that fills you up, not a life of shrinking. The kind of life that stirs your soul and lights up your spirit. I so believe this for you and so much more. You deserve to make decisions without hesitation. It's okay to want more. And I had to learn this. It doesn't make you difficult or a dreamer or a wishful thinker. It makes you real and it makes you honest. You're not asking for too much and you're not too much. You're just finally done with settling for less. I want us to get real about what settling for less actually looks like when you're trapped in all of these thoughts around food. You've been settling for saying no to dinner with your friends or your husband because you can't control the menu. You've been missing out on conversations because you're calculating in your mind. You've been choosing the gym over your son's soccer game because you have to work out, and canceling date nights because restaurants feel too scary when you'd rather be at home with your controlled meal. And you've been spending vacation days or leading up to vacation days or coming home from vacation obsessing over what you're going to eat instead of making memories with the people that you love. And here's the real truth, friend. That isn't living. That is surviving. You've been settling for a life where your eating disorder gets the front row seat to every single experience and you're stuck in the back corner watching your own life happen without you fully being in it. And here's what I need you to understand about more. John 10:10 says this, I have come that they may have life and have it abundantly, not restricted, not controlled, not a maybe I can have joy if I weigh the right amount today, an abundant life. And when I talk about settling for more, I'm talking about expansion. I'm talking about taking up space that you were meant to take up in your own life with your own people. Sometimes we have to make peace with what is so that we can grab on to what is waiting for us. And that might look like for you making peace with not knowing exactly what you're going to weigh in recovery, or making peace with, feeling like eating more is scary. And so right now it just feels safe to stay where you are. It might mean making peace with taking up more physical or emotional space or having thoughts about food sometimes, but knowing that you don't want them to control you anymore. It may mean making peace with people noticing changes and you okay with not listening to those opinions. But here is the magic. When you make peace with these things, you get to grab onto something that is so special. And that's what I wanted to do today. I wanted to share with you what more actually looks like. I have ladies that drop into my inbox and they say, Lindsey, like, I'm so happy that you have actually had this kind of freedom in your life. And I question that you have, first and foremost, like, have you? Is it real? And two, I also question that it exists for me. And so I wanted to paint you a picture of what more looks like and what being recovered actually means, because I feel like sometimes we get it wrong. Like, we think so absolute and black and white that we think we're never going to have another thought in our lifetime. And that becomes so far away. That version of you seems so far away from where you currently are right now that it just feels entirely impossible. So I want to paint a picture of what more looks like for my own journey. And I want you to see what's waiting for you on the other side of yours. When I talk about more, I mean more presence. So instead of sitting at dinner calculating what everyone else was eating, which I used to do, or trying to play around with my food on the plate, I'm actually there now. I'm laughing at my husband's terrible jokes. I'm listening to my boys tell me about their day. I'm present in my own life instead of being held hostage by the food that was on my plate or the food that wasn't on my plate. Okay, that is what more looks like. How about more energy? So I'm no longer exhausted from the mental gymnastics of restriction and over exercise. I actually want to play with my kids. I want to show up fully in my business. I get to actually enjoy the life I'm living, like going on a walk or stopping during my walk to see the turtles or stopping to talk to a neighbor. I'm literally living instead of just going in survival mode. Okay, that is what more looks like. How about more purpose? So when your brain isn't so consumed with food and body thoughts 24/7, you know what actually happens? I mean, I remember from sun up till sundown, all I could think about in my mind was calculations and numbers and weight and dinner and what I was going to have and how I was going to get out of this and where I was going to go and restricting and more. But when you have more purpose in your life because you're not thinking about those things, you discover things you're actually passionate about. It's almost like a brand new world. You remember the things that bring you joy and you start living for something instead of just managing against something like those thoughts. I also want to talk about more authentic relationships. I can now go to dinner and order what I actually want. Newsflash, it's not always the salad, and that's okay. And I can travel without packing all of the things or getting my safe foods with me. I can be present in conversations because I'm not monitoring every bite or worried about what people are going to think of my food behaviors. This creates just this dynamic of being able to be authentically you and who you are. And the problem when we've lived in so many years of that control and restriction is we literally forget that person and we become somebody else, somebody that the world wants us to be, somebody small. You know what else more looks like? It looks like more adventure, more spontaneity. So think about it like this. Last month, actually, we try to do this frequently. My boys and I decided to just try out a new restaurant on a whim. The old me, friend, would have panicked. You mean no menu to look at beforehand? What if they don't have any safe options that I can research ahead of time? But you know what I did? I walked in the restaurant, sat down, thought about, what is something I might enjoy for dinner tonight? And I enjoyed every single bite while making memories with the people that I adore the most. At one point, that felt crippling. And all of these examples, I'm not sharing with you to boast or to like be proud about, although I am proud of the work I've done because it's taken a while. I'm sharing them with you because you are not out of the ordinary. You can do this too. And here's what I learned. When we focus on less, guess what we get more of? Less. But when we focus on more, guess what we get more of? More. It's the perfect mathematical equation. Your eating disorder has trained you to focus on less. Less food, less calories, less space, less needs, less desires. And what did you get? Less. Shrinking. But what if you started focusing on more? More nourishment, more rest, more joy, more presence, more purpose. What do you think you're going to get? More energy, more peace, more connection, more life. Maya Angelou said, if you don't like something, change it. And if you can't change it, change your attitude. Here's the truth. Happiness comes in two ways. There is only two ways to happiness. And if you're feeling stuck and miserable right now, you have two ways through. You can change your circumstances, or you can change the way you think about them. And this is something that I had to get really honest with. Either I can change my circumstances, which is going to require a wake-up call and action, which is going to require courage, and it's going to require consistency, and it's going to require doing the hard thing. So you can change your circumstances, or just change the way you think about your circumstances. Is it really that bad, right? I want you to recognize your fear. This is going to expand you, and I want you to get curious about it. Let me ask you what I had to ask myself. Lindsey, what are you really afraid of if you gain weight? Are you afraid that people are going to think you're lazy? Are you afraid that people are going to love you less? Are you going to lose control completely of your entire life? Maybe you feel like you're not worthy. Maybe you're actually scared that if you're not the smallest person in the room, then you'll have nothing left to offer to the world. But here is the question that totally changed my perspective and the way that I thought about my circumstances. So what? So what? So what if you gain weight? So what if people have opinions? So what if you're not the smallest person in the room? Why are we giving so much energy to these things? I had to get to the place where I could just say, so what? Like, so what? What I'm doing right now is killing me. I would rather be 20 pounds heavier and actually present at my son's birthday party than to be perfect on the scale and miss the joy because I'm obsessing over passing on the cake. And guess what? When I was doing those things, I was miserable about the number anyways. So what if you're not a 00? I don't care. And friend, I want you to get to the point where it's like your adventures with the people in your circle fit more in line with your values and your life than any tiny clothes you have that are going to keep you in a tiny little life. Let me give you some tangible ways to start settling for more. Number one, I want you to expand. Thinking in terms of like expanding, okay? Expansion. This is not bad. If your brain goes, oh my gosh, expanding means big, cross that out. We're going to try it again. We are expanding options, okay? So expanding your food choices. Instead of, I can only have these 5 safe things, and therefore I'm like chained to my kitchen because I'm only allowed these things. I want you to create a thought of expansion. I'm exploring new options, new things that I can incorporate into my menu. My body might actually enjoy some of these things. So I'm going to start exploring that. Number 2, I want you to expand your social capacity for life. So instead of, I can't go out to eat because I won't know what's in it. They might cook with butter or oil or, oh my gosh, I can't have that. I want you to think about an expansion thought. I'm choosing connection right now over control. Like this evening is about this person. I am choosing connection over control. So what if there's butter in the broccoli? Number 3, I want you to expand your self-talk. This one is key. Instead of, I need to, I have to, I should exercise to earn this food. Any of that language is going to put you down that windy road where those thoughts go off on repeat. I want you to expand with this thought. I'm nourishing my body because I deserve to feel good. I deserve more. Number 4, expand your identity, because this is all focused around identity. Instead of, I'm the girl who always orders a salad, or I can't have that, or I have an intolerance. When you know deep down you don't, you just created that excuse so that the world thought that it was acceptable. I want you to give yourself ways to expand your brain. And here's a thought to try on. I'm the woman who chooses something different. I'm the woman who is allowed to have carbs. I enjoy carbs. I'm the woman who chooses what sounds good to her today. And then I want you to start thinking and practicing this, because it's one thing to expand these thoughts into our brain, but we have to do something with them. Okay, so here's where we're turning this into action and application. Step 1, I want you to notice where you're not expanding and where you're shrinking. So this week, catch yourself. Every time you choose an eating disorder option over a life option, okay, so are you skipping that get together? Are you avoiding that family time? Are you making excuses because it's easier? I want you to ask yourself, step 2, what would more look like before you automatically default and choose restricting? If I were living in abundance today and I was stepping into my best self, my more self, instead of scarcity, what would I choose right now? What is she choosing? And then I want you to choose it. We're not even going to think about it. We're just going to take an expansive action that is going to move you to getting more from your life. Order the sandwich instead of the salad. Say yes to the invite instead of saying no. Take the rest day instead of your mind allowing you to opt for the default mode. Girl, I need you to understand this. Your life, your real life, is waiting for you on the other side of these food and body thoughts. There is a version of you who wakes up and the first thought isn't about what she's going to eat or how she's going to work it off. There is a version of you who plans trips based on what sounds fun, not on what restaurants are there or where you can go to get all the things you need to feel safe. There is a version of you who shows up that is living life to the present for every birthday party and every date night and every family dinner because she's not distracted by the mental chatter of restriction and control. And that version of you, it isn't that far away. That's the real reality. She's who you become when you stop settling for less. She's who you become. So you have a choice right now. You can keep settling for this small, controlled, restricted life where that voice inside of your mind calls all the shots, or you can decide that you're done living in that corner of your own little universe. And you can keep focusing on less and getting more of less, or you can start focusing on more and watch your entire world expand. But I'm not going to lie to you, girl. Sometimes more feels scary, right? Eating more feels scary. Weighing more feels daunting and like the last thing that you want to be accomplishing. The voice inside of your mind, it's going to get louder and louder because it's going to scream, oh, this is more dangerous and this is less safe and control is better than freedom. But I've lived on both sides of this. Less is not safe. It's just less. Control is not better. It's just limiting. Restriction is not protecting you. It's preventing you. It is preventing you. So if everything in your heart is saying, yes, I'm so tired of living and settling for yes, I just wanted to bring this into your ear today because I want you to live more energized. I want you to live more in the presence of the people that you love. And I want you to take up more space in life. Instead of dreaming about expanding your life, it's time to start living in that place. So I want to help you do this personally and to get you living and claiming your right for recovery. Here is what I know, that you can keep trying to figure this out, or you can have conversations in your own mind and you can keep living in this place where everything seems uncertain. Or you can show yourself exactly how to expand into the abundant life that is waiting for you. Friend, my clients don't just recover. They fall in love with their life. They discover energy that they didn't know existed. They show up as women they were meant to be. In fact, they end up realizing things that were for them and things that weren't for them, and they uncover new passions and they try to pivot into new careers, or they want to do things like writing. Like, it is so expansive and abundant when you start stepping into what is meant for you. I'd want you to be someone who helps other people expand from a small and controlled life to an abundant, joyful, and present life. If you're looking for support in doing this, you can go to herbestself.co right now. You can fill out a client application to work with me. I am about to go on a wait list, so please go out there and get your application in if you are looking for coaching and you'd like to partner together. Your eating disorder wants you to settle for less. But here's the thing. You weren't made for less. And that is why the alignment feels so off for you. Before we go, I want to leave you with an exercise that is going to help you step forward. I want you to close your eyes if you can. If not, just picture yourself a year from now. You wake up, your first thought isn't about food. Your first thought isn't about your body. You're planning a weekend trip and you're just excited about it. You're excited about the adventure. You're not anxious about where there's going to be a gym or if you're going to have time for a run. You're not anxious about where you're going to go eat. You're just showing up with your suitcase, fully present for every single moment because your mind isn't consumed with these thoughts anymore. These thoughts that used to control you. You're now living in abundance instead of scarcity. You've now settled for more. This is your recovery. That's what's waiting for you on the other side. When you stop settling for crumbs and you start feasting on the fullness of what life brings. But the truth is more. And you do deserve it. Your eating disorder has just convinced you that less was more. But in order to believe this, you actually have to taste it, right? You have to try it on for your life. So I want you to do something with this episode today. I would love for you to share what you're going to do with this episode. Okay, because it's one thing to listen to all the content. I'm a podcast listener as well, not just a podcaster. But I try to be super tactical with what I'm listening to because I want to go out and do something with each episode. That is what I hope you take away from this one. What are you going to do today to expand your life instead of settling for this life? Because you deserve that. Until the next time, friend, remember that you were made for abundance and you were made for more. So stop settling for less. I love you, girl. Bye for now. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show. And I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.